On this week's inCycle, a trip to Belgium's legendary Kuipke Velodrome with Iljo Kessa.
I've had amazing moments there, but also terrible moments. Every time I come in Kuipke is like a mix of all different emotions.
The Norwegian team taking the step up to the next level.
We were a very small continental team. Now we are a small pro team, trying to minimize that gap between the continental teams and the World Tour teams.
But first, a catch-up with two-time world TT champion Rohan Dennis. "2020 is a big year for Rohan Dennis. With time trial gold up for grabs at the Tokyo Olympics, the 29-year-old is also hoping to claim a third straight world title against the clock. Following his high-profile off-season switch to Team Ineos, the Australian is already bedding in with his new squad.
Obviously, the equipment side of things of the team, it's always about pushing the limit of what we can do to be better and not being stagnant with that as well. So it was a pretty clear decision when it was an option, obviously, where I wanted to go. And it's been a perfect fit, especially for my time trialling. It's been very, very specific of, okay, we've got to make sure this, and this is going to be perfect for certain races, and especially Tokyo and World Championships and big goals. Even winning a time trial and a Grand Tour is big for a team, no matter what team you're in. So it was a very clear choice of where I wanted to be when it became an option, which was Ineos. It's a big year. I don't think any male has ever won the Olympics and Worlds in the same year. So that's obviously a big goal of mine. And obviously, if I did do that, then I would get the three world titles in a row, which is the same as Mick Rogers, which I never thought really that would be on the cards. I thought, okay, if I can get one, I'll be happy. But human nature is that you're never really fully happy. I don't think I'd be finished if I won both of those, especially with our record. Just don't know when that's going to happen. I do want to get it, but it also takes a lot of time out of the racing program for the team, and I'd really have to sit down and discuss it with the team properly before I say yes to a certain date.
In the interim, Dennis's focus will turn to the 2020 Giro d'Italia. The former BMC team leader last rode the Corsa Rosa back in 2018, when he enjoyed 4 days in the pink jersey and a time trial stage victory on the way to finishing 16th overall. This year, though, he returns with a different game plan.
'18 was a really good hit out with obviously the Giro that year. GC was going really well until I'd probably put it down to the day where Froome went on his little jaunt by himself, and that was a nail in the coffin for me. Stage 19, pretty sure, and 20 I was just empty. So I think I even lost 40 odd minutes that day. It was something stupid, but it showed how hard that Giro actually was, because even though I lost that time in one day, I think I was still 16th on GC, which is, the time gaps were stupid. It also shows the level between someone like Froome and myself is completely different. It's here and here. And then it's the other way around with other things between him and I. So yeah, that's why another reason why I think it's just better to stick with what I enjoy and what I'm really good at. Me being the GC leader, I think it's not something for me. I touched on it a little bit earlier in the year and on the reasons why, and I just don't think it's not what made me happy. 1 week tours and time trials is what I enjoy, so I'm going to stick with that from now on.
With that in mind, Dennis is looking to his favourite type of stage.
The prologue or the opening time trial be great to get that win. The other two would really, well, the last stage is a time trial, so there's nothing to save. You go all in, there's no energy to be saved for the mountains, but it is quite a heavy week before that as well. And really, the middle time trial, push comes to shove. I think if I was told I had to take it easier that day to help out with obviously later on in or the next day or the days after for the GC, then I'd just have to take that on the chin and do the team thing, I think. So obviously I hope that's not the case, but if it is, it is. Being there when a teammate wins the Tour de France would be a huge highlight in my career. But in saying that, if that doesn't happen and I'm a part of a Giro win or a Vuelta win, I think it would be just as special. Grand Tour is Grand Tour. Obviously, yes, the Tour de France is the big show, but I think it's also, there's a lot to take from those other two races as well. So to be a part of a team that wins a Grand Tour is, I think, special no matter what the name is.
In Ghent's Citadel Park stands a velodrome, a temple made up of steep bankings, weathered boards, and all with a distant scent of old beer. As the home of the Ghent six-day race since 1922, it's a place that's left a mark on so many cycling fans, not least seven-time champion Iljo Kessa.
My father, he was always very into cycling, so I started on the track very early. My father was the manager of the other velodrome in Ghent, so that's where I started. And then in the winter, the open velodrome was closed, so you had to train in the winter velodrome, which was the Kuipke. That's my first memories, when I started training there when I was, I don't know, 11, 12 years old. And also going to the 6 days as a kid after school, save some money to buy my ticket. And then I could stay till just after the big chase, and then I had to go home to go to school the next day. It was always my dream to become a 6-day rider one day. Like in the winter to go train there, it's not the nicest place to go. It's always cold, it stinks a bit. It only works during the 6th day. It's like where time stood still. Yeah, it's special, really short, so everything looks super fast. It is also super fast. The more people, the warmer it is, the faster the track becomes. If you're in good shape and you have a good partner, you can take a lap within 6, 8, 10 laps. That makes it super spectacular. You need a few hours on that track to feel comfortable, and that's also for the guys that come from, I don't know, from Germany or from doesn't matter where they come from. The first moment you get on the track, you're shocked. It's really hard to, when you go full gas, to keep the perfect line, to stay low on the track. That's really hard. And then you have to imagine that you do it on the full speed and also have to change, and that you're with 24 on that small track and have to go under and over each other. It's like, it's crazy. In most 6 days you have the infield, is like a VIP area. In Ghent it's just cheapest tickets, so people can come and enjoy themselves, have beers. Some of them are interested in the race, but most, they're just there to have a good time. I remember sitting there as a kid on the balustrade on the infield, where you were actually like 2 meters from the track and where you could really feel the speed and even the turbulence that the riders create. Even with the sound with the noise of the journeys, you can still hear the people yelling and screaming, and then sometimes they start like singing or yelling my name and things like that. It really gives me goosebumps. I've had amazing moments there, but also terrible moments. So every time I come in Kuipke is like a mix of all different emotions. I try to forget the bad ones and remember the good ones, but yeah, always a special feeling.
Norway is a cycling nation that's long punched above its weight. Part of this success has been thanks to its strong stable of UCI continental teams. This year, one such squad is taking the next step up. To find out more, inCycle spent part of the recent Volta Algarve with the Norwegian Development Team.
My name is Kurt Arvesen. I'm one of the sports directors in Norwegian Development Team. Started cycling when I was 16, 17 years old, and then I won the World Championship under 23 in 97. Became professional cyclist. After that, I worked for Team Sky, now in Ineos a few years, and then now I'm here in Norwegian Development Team. My ambition was to work for a Norwegian team and to see young talents grow up and become World Tour riders. From we started out, we were a very small continental team. Now we are a small pro team, but at least now we stepped up one division. We're still a development team and trying to minimize that gap between the continental teams and the World Tour teams for the Norwegian and Danish riders. Now we are here in Algarve. We'll compete against 12 World Tour teams. That will be very hard. For all the riders we have here in Algarve, it's the first race of the season. We got one of the oldest guys. He's 26 years old, Daniel Holgaard. He had 4 years with the France Sjø. He knows the cycling on that level. He's been working for his sprinter in that team. Now he's looking for new chances. Maybe he can be in position to do something himself. And then we got Markus Holgaard, who won a stage in Arctic race last year. And then Andreas Leknesund coming up as one of the big talents. So hopefully we will have an interesting week, even if we know that it will be very hard for us.
My name is Markus Holgaard. I'm 25 years old and I ride for Norwegian Development Team. I'm still young, but one of the oldest in the team, so it's like I don't feel old, but compared to some of the other guys, I'm like one of the experienced ones, so that's also naturally one of the roles that I get, like try to help the younger and give them some experiences and stuff, but of course I'm still young myself, so I have a lot to learn also. Most cycling teams, I think, like day to day in a race, it's quite the same with racing and eating and massage and stuff like that. But for sure, within this team, it's like a group of friends. We have a lot of fun all the time at the breakfast or in the bus or after the race, or it's always good mood. And also, even though the results are not going our way, then we are quite good to just refocus and have fun in the evening and try again the next day.
My name is Daniel Holgaard. I signed for FDJ before 2016 season. I was there for 4 years. After 4 years in FDJ, it was time for change, and it was perfect when Norway's first professional team was starting. I jumped on the opportunity, and here I am. Of course, I'm brought in to give them some results, and also to share my experience from the World Tour. So, yeah, it's a bit split. I want to win some races for the team, of course, and then they have a lot of young riders. So, I hope I can teach them some things in the races maybe, and help the whole team develop. I saw the team a few years ago, and from that time until now, it's been a massive change, of course, from being a really small, almost amateur team to just in a few years be just as good as the World Tour teams in terms of organization and equipment and everything. So it's massive, the change they've done in just a few years.
We're still a young team, and now last year Tobias Foss, he won L'Avenir, Tour de l'Avenir, and he passed professional with Jumbo-Visma, and that's of course a big tap on the shoulder for us. And now next year we already signed Andreas Leknesund with Sunweb, so let's see who's next in line to go out.
I arrived in the team in May 2018. Since then I've been a rider here, and it was quite a good start, my first race, and since then I've been having some opportunities to ride to get some results, and yeah, there's been a really good development both for me and the team and the riders and the staff. Everything is in a quite big development. I decided to go to Team Sunweb because I think they have a really good program to develop younger riders, and they also gave me the confidence that they want to give me some years to develop and try to establish on the World Tour level.
Første melding fra bil. Vi ser åpen side, det jo litt bakke etter bilen. We start in one direction, 40 kilometers along the seaside, where there can be slightly wind from the east. But if a group bigger than 6 with some strong guys goes away, we can. A couple of us have the thumbs up to go in a break. But we have 3 guys who can climb pretty well, and in difference from yesterday's stage, which was a sprinter's paradise, we will try to get those 3 guys as long up in the hills as possible. Yep. They are talented guys, so I wouldn't be surprised if we can see them on TV quite in the middle of the picture after some kilometers before the line. So, but with strong competition. But lately we had a small adjustment in the way Norwegian cycling is going, and we saw Tobias Foss won the Tour de l'Avenir last year. We have Leknesund, as mentioned. Torje Sleen also is a versatile rider. So I think we will see some Norwegian running for GC in the coming years.
It's not that you know, when you go up on one division and you race against superstars, but they're just human beings, and you know, maybe one day they will be one of them, and they already have a lot of fans and tifosis looking up to them, so they are also role models.
To see other guys within the team or other Norwegians or people you race against make the step up is motivating. Christoph lives like 25-30k from where I live, so he shows that it's possible to come from Norway and train on the same roads and be one of the best in the world. So that's for sure very motivating.
We have a lot of really big talents in Norway right now, and that's also why I think it's a really good time to start the first professional team in Norway. It's a totally new sport now than for just 10 years ago. It's not the same in Norway anymore. The whole life changes when you come to this team because you're more happy during a normal day because I train with my brother every day, so I'm enjoying it.
It's for far the best team I've been in for my career, with the staff and riders and equipment, and everything is just really good. So it's up to the riders to perform. Everything is laid down for us, so if we don't perform, it's on us and not on the team. The focus is to learn and to try and be better and better for each day. So it's not like you have to win today or you have to win tomorrow. It's always like step by step, as they say, to learn and grow and be better. So the most pressure we have is the one we put on ourselves. So that's a good environment to be in.
They trust us that if we do the work, they will give us the opportunities that we deserve. And really, they're not pushing any pressure on us to perform. It's most on the development and that we have the passion for the cycling. And it's a really safe and good environment to develop as a young rider.
The next step for us is to develop the new generation of Norwegian and Danish riders. And, we know 22 riders, and then we have to get some other one on board, and maybe also, hopefully, we lose more riders to the World Tour in the end of the year.
That's all for this edition, but do join us next time. Until then, keep up to date with us on social media.